zoo, Mark.
Morning Sports on the Wave. Morning Sports on the Wave, brought to you by the Bank of Columbia, the bank that wrote the book on local. Also, Hartman Furniture Company, 500 South Central Avenue, Campbellsville, your lazy boy dealer. Be about 2 minutes.
Okay, good. 2 minutes. I like 2 minutes. Yeah.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes before airtime.
This is like Burbank's retirement party.
Telling you what, I feel like I'm getting retired.
You know, I watched his retirement party. It's on the web, and you would think that half of Cincinnati was there. He only had about 3 or 4 people in the control room.
Really?
Yeah. That was kind of a, I guess a pretty calm.
Well, this was almost a surprise.
Fade away. Yeah.
Good night.
There are people here that have a wealth of information on Larry and Don.
Oh, I'm sure.
Some good, some bad. Some very interesting, to say the least.
I
have one question. Have you ever been pulled?
Ever been pulled?
Unplugged.
I don't know, Mike. Have I? Yeah, I have.
Well, actually, radio wasn't his first job.
Would you give me a piece of paper?
I'll tell about that later.
Mike,
You've got
I
169.
didn't know they pulled a Howard Stern on you.
That's Larry. Or Lawrence, pull that one mic up there for yourself.
No, that's okay.
No, we're going to talk to everybody in here. We shouldn't move those chairs actually out of this room.
yeah, I've probably been pulled once. Mike,
What was that?
On 2 runs in 6 innings,
WTCO in
Chicago's
Campbellsville.
9-2 run to the Marlins, and the San Francisco Giants beat the Braves 3-1. This is KNN.
92.7 The Wave and ridingthewave.com.
Hey Greg, I need some help here. Hartman Furniture's having a sale, but it's not just any sale, it's a clearance sale. Everything's marked down. We have to convey how big this is.
We can add special effects, like Hartman Furniture is having a clearance sale.
This is huge. Everything is marked down as much as 50%.
50% off.
Sofas as low as $5.99.
$5.99.
Bedding as low as $1.99.
$1.99.
Okay, Greg, enough with the sound effects.
I'm just trying to help out.
Furniture groups are on sale. Recliners.
Wave Radio at 92.7 The Wave. This reminder, a horse, a miniature horse in the road, just a few miles out of Columbia on Holmes Bend Road in Adair County. Good morning to you. Looking good weather-wise today. A skosh bit warmer. High today topping at about 90 degrees. Tonight clear and 57. Sunshine tomorrow. 88 for the high temperature. In the neighborhood this morning, the official temperature at the Wave is at 64 degrees. And Alan Reed and crew is in the studio this morning.
There's a heck of a crew in here this
We got
morning,
a
Larry.
nice little crowd in
You
here
wonder
this
why
morning.
we're all gathered here, I guess.
Well,
This could be good, it could be bad, like many other instances in your 30 years of broadcasting.
no, yes, I've had a few rocky roads. I've
You
traveled.
recognize a few of these people?
I sure do.
Why don't you identify who all's in the room?
Well, we have
You
Mike.
might want to make a little comment. Now, let's set this up first.
Okay.
Today is the 30th anniversary of the day that you and Don Salmon started on the radio. Now, the amazing thing is, you guys started in the very same town on the very same day 30 years ago today.
That's wild.
Now, one of you started a few minutes ahead of the other.
Well, I went on at noon.
Don, when did you go on?
I think it's around 2 in the afternoon, something
Okay,
like
so
that.
it is. So Larry, you actually have 2 hours on Don.
Well, I put
You
the-
got him beat by 2 hours.
Well, I put the farm report on, and Don played the gospel music. That's what I was doing the farm market broadcast and playing country and pop and a little bit of everything. But this was at WTCO in Campbellsville.
Okay, see, we've had this discussion. Mike Wilson's here. Mike, this is both of your old bosses, or boss for the two of you. Mike Wilson used to own WGRK in Greensburg, as all of you know, is a well-known fixture in the broadcast community around these parts, and helps us out now at Shoreline. We're glad to have him on board. But do you remember what this guy looked like when he first started, Laird?
He hadn't changed that lot. He's held his age pretty well. He's got a few more gray hairs, but he still looks good.
No, he's got, he had that young Dirk Diggler look. I do remember that the first time I saw Larry and he came into to WAIN. I was running that station at that time, and you and I were friendly competition about 30 years ago. We didn't talk a lot. We were good friendly competitors, the way it ought to be.
Larry, he was a cat boy.
But he still was. Don, I got to tell you something. Everybody that I've talked to And you're going to hear some of these voice clips in a second. They all remember Larry is a little bit wilder of the two. Now, you and Larry have a long history, right? I mean, what's it like to kind of be tied to the hip to Larry on the air for 30 years? I mean, it's like you wind up, you work together for a long time, and then you wind up in Elizabethtown as crosstown rivals, but you still can't get this guy out of your hair.
He's been around a long time, and I tell you, Larry, everybody knows Larry. I'm kind of the quiet one, I guess.
This is kind of a strange, it's like the Odd Couple, kind of.
It is,
Yeah,
it is.
kind of the Odd Couple.
Well, it was kind of an interesting thing because growing up as a kid, Don's brother Delno worked in radio and influenced Don. And Don and I used to kind of bump into each other at WTCO in Campbellsville back when we were young. I don't think either one of us had our driver's license.
I don't think so at that time.
and here I was mowing the yard at the Greensburg radio station, but going and hanging out at the Campbellsville station because they wouldn't hire you at the Greensburg station because I didn't have my driver's license.
But, you ride your bicycle.
But I could still get to the station to
Been a tough ride up Buckner Hill, though, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Where that telephone was, though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did he call the station a lot?
Oh, yeah.
To say the least.
Well, we got a guy we may try to call here in a little while if you got his number. Mike.
Yeah, I got his number.
You do have
He
his
tells
number.
some pretty good stories.
Well, we may
about
call him up.
Yeah.
Larry, I asked you a second ago, we got a little bit sidetracked there, to tell who all's in the room. We got a lot of people in.
Well, first of all, we've got yourself, Alan Reed. We've got Don Salmon. We've got Ed Wagner with ColumbiaMagazine.com. We've got
morning, Ed.
Ed. Morning, Ed. We've got Michael R. Wilson. Now, Mike is a man who I was mowing the yard for, push mowing, a 2-acre, 3-acre yard. Ever how big that
That's
thing was?
good for you.
It was huge.
Bill's character.
It was huge. And I would come in the radio station, I'd run some programs, but I was on the air at Campbellsville, and Mike heard me on at Campbellsville on the station there, and I wasn't getting paid for it, just learning how to do it. Mike says, I'm thinking, I don't want you on the air there anymore. You need to just come on down here and work weekends. And I think as soon as I got my driver's license in 1978, he went ahead and put me on the air. And I worked Saturday night playing album rock, which is pretty much what I wanted to do anyway. Everything from Steppenwolf to Led Zeppelin to ZZ Top and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much how it all happened on the Greensburg
Finish up
end
right
of it there.
room here.
All right, Jan Royce is in her studio. She's our station manager. Mayor for Life, Pat Bell. Good to see you this morning. He is. He's
I
Mayor for
can live
Life.
with that.
Mayor for Life. And then we've got Lawrence Harris with the Adair Progress newspaper in Columbia. And Mark Blakeman back here, our videographer. He's with Blakeman Carpet Cleaning. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Larry.
Mark.
It's great being here.
Mark has an interesting background in TV broadcasting and now owns his own business in Campbellsville, serves all this area, Blakeman Carpet Cleaning.
But you were talking about, we went to E-Town when a group called Commonwealth Broadcasting bought out the Greensburg Campbellsville operations. Those guys could not stand me from the get-go, and this is a true confession.
You mean you actually have an enemy or two out
Well, but Wilson remembers this quite well. Back in 1983 or 84, Mr. Newberry asked me to come to work at the Cave City radio station, and it was a pretty sweet deal. Well, I'd come back and talk to Mike because I was working for Mike at Greensburg. I said, Newberry wants me to work in Cave City, and he's willing to pay me $1 more. and I said, I'm thinking about doing it. And Mike says, well, you really need to think about the drive. And he says, I'll give you a little extra money if you'll stay. Well, I stayed with Mike, and from that point on, the Commonwealth crew, which they weren't Commonwealth then, but Mr. Newberry, he I don't know if he liked me, but I do know that when he bought the station, I was the first person he wanted gone.
Sounds to me like he's a man of good character.
But you know what? It was a blessing in disguise. It was a true blessing in disguise because I think I've won more awards in the 4 years that I've been working on 92.7 The Wave than I've won at any other radio station. But I have to say that my heart will be with the Greensburg operation because I worked 25 years on the air there.